Hi, my name is Samantha Rutan. I've been studying the motivation strategies of Coach Carter. Coach Carter is a movie displaying the struggle of low-income schools and students, the effects of investing your life into the growth of others, and the changes that take place with a little bit of teamwork. It's about the academic, athletic, and personal transformation of the basketball team at Richmond High School due to the coaching techniques of Ken Carter. The movie gives us an important illustration of how to motivate a team from a coach's perspective. The movie starts by portraying the basketball team as having poor skills and conditioning, poor sportsmanship, and no discipline. They play at a school that is ranked lowest on the state academic scale and in a rough neighborhood. The team won 4 games in the entire season. The school offers Ken Carter a job as the head coach, which he hesitantly accepts. Coach Carter starts off with strict requirements and expectations for the team, many having to do with academic performance. Through his heavily conditioned practices and strong investment in coaching technique and game plays, the team begins to go through the next season undefeated. Later in the season, Coach Carter locks the gym, cancels practice, and forfeits big games because of the athletes' failure to uphold their academic agreements. After much negative attention he received from this, he was about to step down as coach when his team decided to continue studying and improving their grades until their GPA met their agreement. All players became successful students, and the team continued to win games until they lost in the state championship. At this point, Coach Carter expresses how proud he is of the team's development as champions and as men. The movie also showed the struggle as well as the growth that the athletes had outside of basketball, whether it was relationships, street violence, anger and disrespect, etc. Coach Carter does a lot to motivate his athletes to thrive in both basketball and academics. The very first thing he did as the coach was make the athletes sign contracts, which contained an agreement that the athletes would maintain at least a 2.3 GPA, sit in the front row of their classes, and wear a tie on game days. If anyone disagreed with or broke this contract, they would not be allowed to participate with the team. When the team failed to uphold the contract, he canceled practices and games until everyone could uphold the contract. From the first practice all the way through the season, he demanded players leave his gym if they portrayed a bad attitude toward him. And if they were disrespectful or late to practice, the result was always a large sum of suicides and/or push-ups. He also focused on what the team failed to do during games to teach them there was still much work to do and large egos were unnecessary. So this is a video clip showing his motivation here.
Ready again. All right, 1-4. Linda. All day, baby, all day. Can't stop that.
Hey, Coach, your shoes untied, sir.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Word. Woo! Look at that bow. Look at that. I tied that shit. Can I get something on the boat? Let me get some. Are you crazy? What is wrong with you? What's wrong with all of you? Since when is winning not enough? Playing hard not enough? No. You have to humiliate your opponent. Taunt him after every score. You won 4 games last season. 4! What gives you the right to take the game that I love with trash talk and taunting? What gives you the right to wear Richmond on your chest and act like punks?
Coach, they were John too.
So? You can't show some class? Act like a champion? You owe me 500 push-ups apiece. On the line. Now!
These all may seem like disciplinary measures instead of motivation, but that is what it took to motivate a basketball team focused on getting attention on the streets from girls or living in the spotlight. Having a coach that cared enough to discipline them in such a manner is the best motivation they could have received. He also motivated his athletes by focusing on the aspect of being together as a team. If one person was late, everyone would do suicides. If part of the team was failing, no one would play basketball until no one was failing. So here's another video showing the effect of this motivation.
Mr. Cruz, I'm impressed with what you've done, but you came up short. You owe me 80 suicides and 500 push-ups. Please leave my gym. Thanks, client. Gentlemen, see you tomorrow.
I'll do push-ups for him. You said we're a team. One person struggles, we all struggle. One player triumphs, we all triumph, right?
I'll do some. I'll run suicides too.
I'll do some too.
He himself was also a motivation to his team by modeling the level of commitment he wanted from them. In the movie, he told them, "I will do everything in my power to get you to college and to a better life." He also motivates his team to analyze themselves. Throughout the season, he asks them, "What is your deepest fear? That you're inadequate?" This confused the team throughout the season, but it must have motivated them to think about it. This video shows the influence he had on one of his players with that particular question.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same, as we are liberated from our own fear. Our presence automatically liberates others.
There are 5 main guidelines for building motivation. The first guideline is to realize both situations and traits motivate people. Coach Carter understood his team was motivated by their surroundings, their peers, their desire for a better life, as well as individual core traits. But he also recognized that bad behavior or lack of skill is not a direct reflection of the person based on traits, but more of what their surroundings influence them to be. The second guideline to building motivation is to understand people have multiple motives to participate. Coach Carter understood multiple reasons his athletes had to participate, whether it be school status, winning reputation, or staying safe from the streets, or just to better their skills. The third guideline to building motivation is to create an environment that heightens motivation. Coach Carter created a motivating environment by believing in the team's potential and setting his standards high. He also created a somewhat rough environment, saying things like, "It's impossible, give up and go home," but this may have also helped motivate them by pushing them to prove they are better than that. The fourth guideline to building motivation is that leaders can have an effect on a participant's motivation both directly and indirectly. Coach Carter motivated directly in basketball and indirectly in their studies and life choices and even their families. The fifth guideline to building motivation is to modify behavior if the participant has any negative or undesired motives. Coach Carter modified behavior after realizing the team's motive to be superior over their competitors and each other, and this pushes them from having social goal orientation and wanting the approval of those around them to having task goal orientation and just trying to better themselves. There are two main types of motivation. Competitiveness is motivation based on social evaluation and comparing achievements with those of others. Coach Carter did use this motivation well, but maybe a little too much. It is better to strive to better oneself instead of being superior to others, and oftentimes he would discuss, you're faster than the other team, you're better than the other team, let's do this to win. The second type of motivation is achievement motivation, which is motivation to succeed at a certain task, persevere through obstacles and succeed throughout them, and experience pride of one's own achievements. Coach Carter encourages athletes to focus on positive life choices, increasing their grades, pursuing college basketball career, and these are all things that are incorporated in achievement motivation as well as task goal orientation motivation.